In the meantime, the argument between Yuuki and Laplace had grown rather heated. Laplace was all but begging for his life, swearing up and down that he meant none of this. Please believe me, guys. This time, I promise, I didn't mean to do nothing against any of you. The more desperate he got, of course, the more suspicious it made him look. Yuuki really painted him into a corner here, I had to admit. Feeling sorry for Laplace, I decided to end this charade. Hey, calm down, I said, patting him on the shoulder a couple times. That guy's Yuuki, but he's also not Yuuki, is he? Huh. Unfortunately, I have to assume that Kondo's controlling him. Maybe Damrata beat him. Maybe Kondo sneaked up on him during the fight. Either way, having a mind control expert among the enemy was really starting to make things complicated. If I didn't believe that, we would have been stabbing at each other's throats by now. Oh. Right, yeah. Like, it's fun to fool other folks, but when I'm the fool, man, does it grind my gears. Gotta love that personality. Finding out I trusted him pepped him right up, it looked like. But it didn't improve our predicament at all. We were still surrounded, and we were still in crisis mode. Tish. Didn't expect you to see through it that easily. Here I was hoping you'd be so lost and confused that you'd turn your blades on each other. Brainwashed or not, Yuuki was just as mean-spirited as ever. I'm sure that's how he is at the core, and I'd like to think I'm mature enough to not let it bother me. Your Majesty, I regret to inform you that my strategy has failed. Ah, it was just a silly sideshow anyway. Very good. Now, before battle begins, I was hoping we could have a little chat. Yuuki acted like a loyal vassal as Emperor Ludora approached. Beside him stood Velgrynd, disguised as a beauty, but I saw the barrier she'd wrapped around them, cutting off the world. I couldn't tell if Yuuki was faking his loyalty, but I wasn't taking any chances. What intimidation. I highly doubt she's a fake. I agree. Up close, it's amazing just looking at her, Benimere replied, nodding at my words. But not everyone reacted like us. You think so? I've trained with Sir Veldora often, so the feeling's familiar to me. Not that I've ever defeated him. Xian's been training by fighting to the death in the labyrinth. I just hope her results match the effort. Yes, a very impressive barrier. But like Xian said, I don't see that much of a difference between her and Sir Veldora. Even Diablo can't guarantee victory against Velgrynd. If he won't claim he can win, we're in real trouble. I'm sure this wasn't quite in your plans, but I thought a meeting between two heads of state would prove rather interesting. Ludora looks exactly like Masayuki's twin. The hair and eyes differ, but the vibe is identical. Masayuki's previous words just clicked. And actually, I recalled something odd Masayuki said recently. I've been worried about my hair lately. What, are you balding? Yeah, the stress and all. No, of course not. I've been noticing that my hair's getting lighter in color lately. It's gone from black to more brownish. Maybe you're losing melanin or something. You think so? I hope I'm not worrying about it too much. You know, the sort of self-image problem every young man goes through. Or that was how I saw it, but for some reason, it popped back into my mind right then. It was a concern, but not one I should have been thinking about immediately. Ludora was now right in front of me. You're right. We were planning to come out here. But there is something I wanted to talk to you about. Wonderful. Why don't you have a seat? Ludora conjured 2 chairs for us. I sat down with Benimere, Diablo, Xian, and Zoe flanking me. Laplace awkwardly joined the back. Once everyone took their locations, we were greeted by Velgrynd's teasing voice. Oh, you're sitting down first. Rather questionable manners. Manners. I don't know jack about those. He told me to sit down, so I did. No need for that, Velgrynd. He didn't do anything wrong. If he's a demon lord, then he, too, has a land he rules over. He and I are equals, I think. That's a real-life emperor for you. He sounded like he meant it, too. How generous. Well, if you're fine with it, I have no complaints. Velgrynd also seemed rather easily convinced. I guess she didn't really care much. I wish she'd stop threatening me like that. The tension was suffocating. Sitting across from me was Rudra, flanked by his 4 knights in God-class spear and Damrata, with Yuuki lurking at his side like a snake. I realized then that I'd been walked into a trap. This meeting was a setup. We were outnumbered and outclassed. With 5 single digits and a true dragon like Velgrynd in the room, this was the greatest crisis I've ever faced. I kept my face calm and bold, but internally, I knew one wrong move would be the end of us. Well, guess you got one up on me today, huh? I considered the possibility that people would be expecting us, but I didn't quite anticipate this. That was a lie. We were aiming for a surprise attack on their elite forces, so I thought we were about to seize the initiative here. Ha ha ha. No need to be so modest. It was just as unexpected for me. I thought the armored division I sent would be defeated, but the fact that there were no survivors and no awakened stemming from it was beyond any of my estimations. Well, there was one, but Diablo killed him. I wasn't about to tell him that, but really, whoever devised that plan was a real genius, in my opinion. Pretty inhumane, maybe, but still. So who came up with that strategy anyway? I lightly asked, not expecting an answer. But then, rather surprisingly, Ludora told me everything out of his own mouth. As he explained, the plan was drawn up by Lieutenant Kondo. That I expected. But it turned out the plan was a lot crazier than I thought. First, they'd awaken a few people from the invasion forces. After that, they would pretend to back away in defeat. If we gave chase, the composite division would intercept us. However, since there was a possibility this division had already turned traitor to the Empire, they would be treated as an enemy force as well. Once they were certain about the betrayal, everyone would be eliminated all at once. The Marshal would take on that role. However, that plan kind of fell apart on step 1, so Kondo made some major alterations. Ensnare and capture Yuuki's group, after letting them run free for so long. Even based on what they knew from the Demon Lord claiming, Yuuki's betrayal was pretty much confirmed by this point. Kill off Yuuki's group, confirm what he was scheming to do, and make final adjustments based on that. That left 60,000 people in the gathered composite division, who would then be sacrificed to produce Magic Born. At this point, the Marshal would go into battle and make a flashy display to attract the attention of Guy and the rest. Any would-be troublemakers would be rounded up and killed all at once. That's why they needed to concentrate their forces on that one point. The advantage of such flashy moves was that it'd make the imperial capital look thinly guarded. Someone was bound to try attacking it, and it'd undoubtedly be an elite force as well. They needed to be hit with maximum strength. The most important part. Chances are the monster nation is running short on firepower by now, so the Marshal, the greatest force in the Empire, would take them on. While Guy's eyes were pointed elsewhere, they would take the Storm Dragon, the strongest pawn of all, for themselves. That was the long and short of it. Kondo's intel confirms my fears. If he controlled Clayman, then the Velgrynd I'm currently facing is a fake. It sends shivers down my spine. Just how many duplicates do they have? Detected. Her ultimate skill grants her the ability to create multiple identical existences of herself. It is called parallel existence. I spoke the words Raphael gave me, although I wish they were wrong. But reality was merciless as always. Oh, you're aware of it. How clever of you. Velgrynd's smile was as beautiful as it was terrifying. The more you want to be wrong about something, the more correct you turn out to be, huh? My unvarnished take on this was, how the hell am I gonna beat that? No wonder Tensura was sure she couldn't pull it off. I was so comfortable with this before because I figured I could call on Veldora here to even the odds. Now, though, I understand that I can't even count on that. Raphael finally broke down the terrifying difference between Zoe's skill and Velgrynd's. Zoe's replications are impressive. He uses high-speed processing and thought communication to control them, but they're still just copies. Their magical abilities are limited, and if you take down the real Zoe, the clones vanish. It's an incredible tactical tool, but it has distinct physical weaknesses. Velgrynd's parallel existence, however, is a nightmare. It doesn't just create copies, it divides her actual consciousness. Every version of her is essentially a real body, fully connected to her massive true dragon magicule reserves. Even if you kill one, she simply survives through the others. Because her energy pool is so vast, she can replenish any body faster than it can be drained. It's not just a cheat code. It's practically immortality. Honestly, after seeing the mechanics, I'm with Tensura. I have absolutely no idea how anyone is supposed to defeat her. I returned Velgrynd's gaze, giving as arrogant a smile as I could. Well, thank you. I've got a really talented partner, you know, and when it comes to smarts, he's tough to beat. So I guess you think you've trapped us, but can you tell us what you want? In situations like these, bluffing is about all I got left. I had to make them think I knew exactly what they were up to. If I put them off guard enough to fear me, I had it made. But it was clearly not gonna work out that way. Aren't you rather confident? The way you refuse to admit defeat reminds me so much of my brother. Meaning Veldora, I imagine. Having a sister like this must have been a real pain to him. Do you see now, Rimuru? I thought I heard him say, but Ludora was talking, so I had to pay attention. What I want? Well, if you're that convinced of your intelligence, I don't think I need to tell you, do I? That's not really helpful, you know. If they wanted to rub us out, they'd be fighting by now. If they instead set up a round table of sorts, that meant there was room for negotiation. I think the answer here might just be that they're trying to win us over to their side. Affirmative. This is believed to be correct. However, they may also be stalling for time. In that case, they may be attempting to defeat the subject Veldora Tempest, and add him to their fold. Hey, I did pretty good there, didn't I? I'm half right, at least. Certainly, in Kondo's plans, Marshal Velgrynd would be taking control of Veldora. I didn't pay it much attention because I assumed it was impossible at this juncture, but if she had a parallel existence running around, was Velgrynd on her way to storm the labyrinth right this minute? It was now an urgent question, so I contacted Veldora through our soul corridor. Hey, how's it going? You fool. Now is not the time for casual greetings. Things are, rather hectic in here. My sister. My sister is pursuing me. She is outside the labyrinth right now, but at this rate, she is going to storm inside. Yep. Sounds pretty busy. You gonna be okay? I will have to come out for her. That would beat her laying waste to the labyrinth to reach me. Parallel existence or not, I really didn't think Veldora would lose. So I decided to give him permission to exercise his full force. Alright. I'll take full responsibility for the fallout, so just do something about Velgrynd for me. Can you do that? Oh ho. Well, in that case, allow me to handle everything for you. Kwahahaha. Great. I ended the call, now much relieved. Leave it to Veldora, and I've got nothing to be concerned about. That and I now understood what Ludora's plan was. Time to return to the bargaining table.